Hey everyone, so a makeup date for this week. I actually don't have too much to share with you guys. I mean, the big one is I just officially am retiring my MAC Whirl. I think I've been talking about this every single time, but that one's finally done and good. And I kind of just want to talk about where my makeup collection is at right now. I think I had a big refresh over the summer, so about 3 months ago. And I'm kind of going through another refresh right now, and I think it's kind of been interesting to step through. So maybe I'll just kind of talk through what products I've been using up lately, and or at least like been focusing on lately, and kind of what's been transitioning and things like that. So, yeah, I honestly don't have a plan. This is very much me winging it, and I just kind of just want to talk makeup right now. It's been a week that's been full of other things, and like makeup is definitely one of my escapes, and so I just want to like sit here and talk about it. So I think something I've been staring at for a long time, try to start from like the foundation products and stuff like that, the face products. I haven't really been using a liquid foundation. I think I'm going to start rolling it back in. I just finished up like having a challenge on my pressed powder, my pressed foundation, and so I think I need to roll this one out, give it a break, and start rolling back in my loose powder. I just haven't been touching it. Like if I have one powder in, I'm not touching the other one. So I'm going to put the other powder away. I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to bring this one back out. This is my Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation and concealer. I think this still might be an okay shade right now. I'm starting to definitely get a little lighter. I have another foundation that's been waiting for me that's actually a little bit lighter as well. So I think I need to figure out my whole foundation game and kind of come back with a plan. But if I'm using this, I'll definitely need some sort of foundation. I do need to use my SPF more, so I'm hoping with the two together, it'll like just come more naturally for me to be using my complexion products. That's the word I was searching for, complexion. So there's that. Let's see, another switch up I'm just gonna do right now is I did pull back out a bottle of toner, but there's been this Laneige one that's been sitting here. So I think I'm just gonna pull out this milky toner. I think this one does fit into one of my like lipstick holder slots. Almost does, not quite. Okay, so let's see how I want to finesse this. Setting spray. Actually, you know what? I'll put the, sorry, this is my little tray now. A little bit different than how you guys see it. It's chaotic, I know. But I have a little slot right next to my sunscreen. So let me put the foundation there. And then I'm still debating between the two. I'm not going to rush into this one. This one's brand new. So I'm going to put the toner back. That is fine. I'll just take everything out of the packaging and put it in with my, kind of my backup stash over here. I did just have a whole, like I said in my last makeup date, kind of a whole roll-in of new lipsticks. Still trying to figure that whole game out, but there's no like clear lipstick, so I did just roll in the Laneige sleeping mask just to kind of hold me over while I figure that part out. I've been using up this Tillamook one, but I think the sunscreen is off. It's not that I haven't enjoyed using it. There's very little left. This is all that's like I can roll up. So that's all that's left there. I might just try to finish it for the sake of like just using up what's in here. So maybe I'll leave this out for now. Lots of like mixed thoughts right now. I think I'm in a weird transition period. I think I already mentioned that. And then in terms of my condensed makeup palette, I used up most of my blush already, and so I only have this tiny pan left. I did pull back out my bronzer to try to use a little bit more too. So I think once that blush is done, this is what I'm going to reach for. It seems a little bit dark, but I feel like if I used it as a bronzer and blush, I think that would work just fine. I don't actually rolled out my like contour bronzer powder, so that's all I have left, and I won't have really this one to use anymore as a dedicated cream bronzer. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Ooh, lots of thoughts. Wow, I didn't realize that like I've been thinking through that much like in the back of my head. It's kind of weird to say it all out loud at once. So I talked about that. Just recently changed up my eyeshadow game too and getting used to that. Been trying to mix together like is this Woodwinked? Wow, I just like blanked really hard on the name. Woodwinked, yeah, Woodwinked. I just pulled it back in Woodwinked because it's kind of like that medium tone. that could work as a, like, contour, like, you know, crease contour. It could also work all over the lid, like, that's kind of a more bronzy tone, like, all over the lid. It's one of those, like, if you really want to pull it as a one and done, you could, but it just look a little dark, at least on my complexion. So I've actually been mixing these two and then mixing Woodwinked and this really dark olive tone. And to kind of like use it as like a, still using it, I guess, all over, but just like, I don't know. So that's been an interesting mix. I've been trying to play with that a little bit more. Trying to use this up a little bit more too. That's in a project right now. And the eye primer that's in here, this is getting so dry. Wow, just nicked one of my eyeshadows. This is really starting to get dry. Like, I'm really having to push it around a little bit more. And it's like, it's definitely picking up product, but it's just definitely a lot sheer and starting to kind of perform not as great. So I'll probably have to run and grab a new sample of some sort of eye primer soon. I mean, I've had this eye primer for like 3 months now. So for a sample of eye primer to last that long, I'll take it. So that's kind of what's in here now. I think that might be actually the next sample I'll pick up. Not sure yet. So yeah, and then lip gloss game right now, I have 2. This one I just mixed yesterday, which is kind of like a warm bronzy tone, and then this one's the mauve color. That's a more purpley tone. And so I'm glad that I have like 2 tones in here. I'm like have mixed feelings about this Franken gloss that I made, but I'll like survive and get through it. Not like the most amazing mix I've ever done, but that's that. I really only have 1 lip liner now. And actually, I was complaining about how this felt too light in the summer, but it's because it was summer. Now that I'm in my winter shade, this is actually pulling off pretty well, like on my lips too. So using this as a blush and on my lips and hoping to have this out by the end of the year, which would be amazing. Other than that, jumping back to skincare, I have so much. This is a sample eye cream. I have so much to work through. I still have another one of these. Is that in here? No, I think it's in my other container. And my other box of backups. But that's the whole thing there. And then this is a sample primer that I'm, not primer, sample serum I'm trying to use up. Like there's all that too. So my sample game has been giving me a lot of stuff lately. I guess that was one of the reasons I wanted to get on here and just like talk about my current makeup collection. I think a lot of experiments I've done lately have worked really well. Using my sponge for most of my face has worked really well. Having, building out my lipstick library to where it's at has been really nice, and realizing that I'm okay with a larger lipstick library and a few glosses, but really paring down kind of everything else. Really functioning just with 2 brushes, maybe 3, actually no, 4. I was just trying 1 brush for a really long time, you know, alongside my sponge. The powder brush has been necessary. I definitely realized that. I have like this pan of lip gloss lately that lip balm, I guess, which I haven't had for a while, but it does require a lip brush. So I pulled back in my paintbrush lip brush. I actually broke the other one that I used lately. Maybe that could become a travel lip brush. Whoa, what do you think about that one? And then because I have that powder blush here, I have to pull in a powder blush sometimes. I mean, I can use the sponge with it, but I've just pulled back in another brush to kind of use with that when I don't feel like using the sponge. And then from time to time, if I don't feel like using the sponge, I use this eye brush, but other times I can apply with my finger or with the sponge. So, you know, slowly realizing what brushes I need to pull back in, but still a relatively small number, and I do need to remember to clean them though. That might be something I need to do tonight. But I've honestly been very surprised by what I'm able to get with the samples. I mean, I was very lucky to get double samples one day. Like Sephora right now, at least my local Sephora, only gives out 3, and I requested a moisturizer and a serum for one of them, and she gave me 2 little jars of serum and 2 little jars of moisturizer, which was very, very generous. And even for this mix, I grabbed some Glossier cloud paints and 3 little samples of those to try to mix the right color. Still not the right color, but regardless, she gave me 3 little samples of that and got a shade of, you know, lip gloss, which is what I'll use more than, you know, the cloud paints by themselves. Not advocating for like mixing blush into a lip product, but because there's such little blush in here, I was like, I'm gonna risk it and see what happens. It's also been kind of like where I have to be, you know, pretty creative with with what type of color products I get, because they only can dispense like, you know, either scoopable cream products or liquid products. So I can't really get, you know, powder products or anything like in like a lips, you know, lip gloss applicator or anything like that. So I have to be creative with what I kind of get and can use. Of course, like if I'm asking for um, some, yeah, some like creams or, you know, skincare, whatever, that's pretty easy for them. But yeah, just had to be kind of creative with that. And yeah, it started with eye cream, which I knew I could get with samples and could make them stretch quite a bit. And now I'm kind of looking at like serums, and I don't know about moisturizer. That seems a little bit like much, but I think from time to time, if I want like a special moisturizer or just to treat myself, I think that would be kind of cool. But um, yeah, otherwise it's like I've brought in maybe a few things, but they've all been skincare. And I mean, I bought this recently, but I didn't like the original gloss, and so I emptied that out because it was cherry flavored. I'm just not going to keep anything cherry flavored in my collection. But really just got it from the packaging, you know. So I'm really just buying packaging at this point, and that's been a trend I've noticed over the last year or so. Is like now that I've really focused on like frankening my products and like repurposing, repackaging, all that stuff, that I'm really just looking for good packaging at this point. Um, and so I feel like I've gone like months and not months, but like weeks and weeks of just using up products, recycling those products, grabbing my few samples, and like getting that little bit of like rush that I really enjoy of like choosing what to try and things like that. But being able to like financially not invest in that experience has been really nice. I mean, I know it's a special luxury I have. I know it's an opportunity that's unique to me and to where I'm at. But it's been something that I'm very, very thankful for. Um, Not that I'm like financially in a tough spot, but it's just like, you know, being responsible in that way and recognizing like I have those resources in front of me and I should use it to the fullest, has been really, really nice. And so, yeah, I mean, I still have like so much more like product than I'll ever really need to use up, or like a lot of products I'll be using up very, very slowly. Kind of eyeing the next empties. I'm a little bit out now just because I finished up the lip liner. That was kind of a long one. I finished up like a moisturizer lately and like toners and serums and cleansing oils, like kind of big hitter products. So there might not be like an empty anytime super soon. I feel like it comes in those phases where like for a few, even like 2 months, where it's just like week after week after week, I just have empty, 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 empty. And then I'm just like, oh, I actually don't have any. I've emptied all the ones that are near empty because that's what I focus on. And now everything's full. So I'm not really sure when I'll be able to go and get my next empties. Not that I am in need of anything, or not samples. Not that I'm in need of any samples. And again, it is a trap to empty things to get more things. But it is a little bit of the rush that I sometimes look for. And especially now that I'm not getting something I need to pay for, I'm like, it's not like that terrible of a game. It like keeps me a little bit focused. So yeah. So I do have to use it with 3 samples in order to get my, sorry, 3 empties in order to get my next sample. So I think I'll count it this next time if I finish up these 2 moisturizers, if I finish up this primer as, not primer, I keep calling this primer, this serum as well. And I don't really want to lock myself into anything. I'm trying to think. Ooh, if I use up this blush, this pan of blush right here. It's really, really shallow. I think it'll only take me about 2 weeks max. But I've been working at that blush for a while. It was originally in this pan and have just been kind of dipping into it with both a sponge and a brush. And so I think that one will be a big win for me, is if I finish that one up. Sometimes I don't even show some of the empties that I do because I either decant them or just, you know, it doesn't seem significant. Like, especially if they come in these little sample containers. I think 2 samples should be significant enough. But yeah, so once I finish those 3, or at least, I might be surprised. There might be something else that I'll finish sooner. But I don't think so. I think I'm starting to kind of dwindle and things are slowing down. So we'll see when those 3 empties are done. And we'll kind of go from there, I think. I might get that new, I might just use it as an opportunity to get kind of just freshen up my sample of eye primer. I really do enjoy using one. I retired all the different eye primers I had earlier this year and just been going for samples now. So that'll be kind of fun to explore and see what eye primer options are out there at that point. I could also see myself finishing this little pan of the lip balm too by then. So, yeah, that's kind of, just wanted to kind of talk through current plans, next steps. I think it's just fun to brainstorm and to be realizing, oh, I'm stepping now into even another phase of my collection, and it's continuing to look different. And yeah, just being really excited for that. I think for a long time I thought like, oh, I should like lock in. This is my aesthetic. This is what it's going to look like, and that's it. But to have something that's continually like changing is really exciting, and kind of like change in a way that I control. Right? I think there's so much in my life right now is like chaos, things that I can't control, things that I get really stressed over, because I just can't anticipate what's coming. A lot of things are uncertain. None of it is in bad ways, I promise, but just that's where I'm at. Also, young kids, that's just constant change, and with no control. And I think makeup is one of the areas of my life like, oh, I can control. I can control my expectations. I can control what I'm working on. I can control how I'm putting my money into this. I feel like I'm relatively self-controlled with that now. I mean, the name of my channel is The Impulsive Panner, and it's not so much that I impulsively like do everything, but that I just get really excited, I think, about getting to like combine things and getting to franken things and getting to like be creative with the way I use things. And so it's kind of been a nice balance, I think, of both control and of impulsive like, tendencies. And together I think they make for a really, really exciting, makeup journey for me. So we'll see kind of what's ahead. I mean, I'm looking at this like big palette of my shadow library, and I think this will kind of be a next year goal. I think I'm already starting to think about like 2026, like what is it going to be about? And I think it's going to be like wanting to see more pans in this. I see currently 2 pans. Oh, 2 pans only. Okay. I think when I came into this, probably if I showed something similar to this earlier this year, would have been a lot more. But since I've condensed things, I have like, I guess only 1 eyeshadow pan in here. So really only 3 out of the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 pans that are in here. I don't count my colorful ones because those are I just use those when I use those. So yeah, I feel like that'll be really exciting to kind of aim for that. And complexion products I would like to work down. Don't really have a huge need for them. I have another complexion product that's sitting in there as well that I should aim to use up soon. A lot of loose powder to work through, a lot of gloss to work through, lipsticks to work through. So yeah, I feel like it's just, there's some areas that I feel pretty good about and some areas where I think next year I'll just make a really, really good dent on and really get it down to like just that 1 or 2 that I have a dream about, but seems a lot more attainable now. And I don't like, I think just a few months ago, I was like, I need to get rid of stuff, but I feel less inclined to like declutter down. I think it's in a good spot. So that is where I'm at. Happy to report. So thank you so much for watching this rambling makeup date. Just kind of spewing things right now. And I hope that you're doing well and that you're finding yourself just really proud of your progress, especially at this point of the year, right? We're in October, and you can look back and say like, yeah, I've used up some stuff and I've been able to reach some panning goals, or at least I've seen myself trying to practice better, panning, I don't know, perspectives, if you will, and practices, because every time we get to practice those, like, moving a muscle and, really flexing a muscle, it takes some practice, takes some work. You can, sometimes mess up a little bit, or not even mess up, just like take a break from exercising that muscle. And I can sometimes, be like, oh, whoops, like I have more than I need to work on. But to kind of get back onto it, I think that's always like the name of the game, it is a lifestyle. Panning is a lifestyle for me. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.